So Dave, this is a video for you and the rest of the crew at the gift land. Okay, so we're going to present what I call your PST, the problem, strategy, and technique. Okay, so our client today came in with complaints of lifting her arm up. Okay, and also complaining about tightness in her neck and upper back. And part of the problem is spending long hours in grad school slumped over a computer, which leads to this kind of posture, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so, and as we know from studying and research, that complaining about impingement usually isn't a problem in the shoulder, the glenohumeral joint. Okay, our most usual suspect is probably going to be somewhere in her spine. Okay, and if I remember correctly, there's a video on the science behind AFS. We did a video on the scapula and the spine. Okay, so going with the premise that because of our kyphotic posture, that our sagittal plane extension is somewhat limited. Because of our limited extension, then the scapula isn't moving forward, which does then it impinges on the glenohumeral joint when we lift our arm. Okay, so if our sagittal plane is impeded, then we're going to go for the other two planes, rotational and side bending, or the frontal plane. Okay? So here's what we did. We used our patented little Coach K device, our little T-tube, which I think of as a big driver, and if you talk to mechanics, they would call it a cheetah bar. Okay? A cheetah bar is a thing you put on a regular wrench and it gives it a lot more torque. So with here, we can do a small movement and really localize the spots in her back. So what she's going to do is put her legs into what I call a little cowboy stance. I'm going to help stabilize her pelvis, and then when she does her rotation from right side over to the left side, all the rotation is going to stay in her spine and not go down into her pelvis and legs. Okay? And then what we do is, next step, we just kind of change the angle of the pipe, and that will actually change the level, okay, of where she starts to feel the rotation up in her spine. Okay? So we can start to isolate the tightness from whether it's lower thorax, mid-thorax, higher thorax, and if she even raises her hand up this way, that's going to change things a little bit more. Yeah?
Yeah, that's my shoulders.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're starting to feel it up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is probably where we want to feel it. And then we just go back and forth until we start to feel a tight spot. Okay? Yeah. And then once we know where we start to feel tight, then we know we've got our rotational plane is already found where we need to be. And then we can add our frontal plane. Correct? Mm-hmm. So what we do is get rid of our T-tube, and plus now my clients will take this home and work on this at home. So basically they can self-mobilize with nobody around. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of frontal plane, and because we want to localize the motion in the upper thorax, instead of going with a big movement like this, which is going to push it out through here, she's going to do a small little movement like this to kind of localize. Okay? So go ahead. So we'll go to the right side a couple times, and then over to the left. And do about 3 to the right. Oh. And then do a couple to the left. And then when we find one side is going to flow easier than the other side. Yes?
Yes.
And it's easier to go to which direction?
It's easier to go to the left.
Okay, so that means everything's working fine there. So if it's harder to go this direction, we're going to do a little FMR and kind of help things out. Alright, and since we're shooting for T3, T4, I'm gonna have her go back up to neutral. And then when she bends this way, towards me, I'm gonna supply a little force here. Ready?
Mhm.
Go from neutral, and then bend this way. And I just give a little extra push. Going there with the angle of push going that way. And this hand is just stabilizing. So far so good.
Yeah.
And then usually, once after that, and then now how's it feel? Boom. And boom.
Yeah, this left side is easier to do.
Okay? So bingo.
It's loose.
Okay? So now we can use the two other planes of motion, your rotational plane and your frontal plane or your side bending to help the extension. And so now all of a sudden, look at that posture is so much better. Okay? And now when she goes to lift up, it works a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
They're loosened up, yeah. Thank
Okay,
you, Coach.
Dave, that's it. Thank you.